South Africa 2010 was the 19th FIFA World Cup that featured 32 teams. Preparation started as soon as the Rainbow Nation won the bid in 2004 over fellow African nations Egypt and Morocco. I now hand over to my colleague Mohamed Abubakar to give us a breakdown of the massive stadiums that hosted the biggest football tournament a decade ago.
Thank you very much, Mahia. Now, when South Africa won the bid to host the 2010 FIFA World Cup, attention immediately turned to whether the Rainbow Nation could provide FIFA-approved stadia. South Africa put 10 world-class venues across 9 host cities for this tournament as local organizers voted to renovate and increase capacity of 5 existing stadia and build 5 new ones from scratch. Now, about $450 million was used to renovate and increase capacity of 5 stadiums. Soccer City Stadium in Johannesburg, Ellis Park in Johannesburg as well, Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein, Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria, which by the way is the oldest of the 10 stadiums, built in 1903, and finally the Royal Bafokeng Stadium in Rustenburg. Now, the most iconic of the 5, of course, is the Soccer City Stadium, located in the outskirts of Soweto and built in the shape of a calabash, an African cooking pot. Initially constructed in 1987, it took $440 million to modify and enlarge it from an 88,000-seater to a 94,000 capacity facility. That represented 90% of the renovation budget. It stands as the largest stadium in Africa to date. Now, the venue also hosted 8 World Cup matches that year, including the famous opener between South Africa and Mexico, where Bafana's Sifio Shabalala scored and celebrated the first World Cup goal scored on African soil. And the final match as well, where Spain also made history by beating the Netherlands to win their first and only world title. Now, the organizers further spent an estimated $1.6 billion to build 5 new stadiums. The Greenpoint Stadium in Cape Town was the most expensive for this tournament, built at $600 million. Nelson Mandela Stadium in Port Elizabeth was the second most expensive, $450 million. As the others continue, we have Moses Mabhida in Durban, $270 million, Peter Mokaba in Polokwane, $150 million, and Bombela in Nelspruit, $140 million. Now, these 10 stadiums had a total seating capacity of nearly 600,000, with an average seating capacity of around 52,000. Now, all the 64 matches played in that World Cup had an average attendance of nearly 50,000 spectators per match, with an overall attendance exceeding 3 million, a top 5 in World Cup history. Now, since the 2010 Mundial, some of these facilities have really struggled to leave a lasting legacy. The Greenpoint Stadium, for instance, was reported in 2018 to be making losses of between $6 million to $10 million annually. Now, a decade on, Danny Jordan, the man behind the successful bid and the head of the 2010 World Cup local organizing committee, insists that the first and only Mundial on African soil has left a positive legacy for South Africa. Mahia, back to you.
Mohamed, thank you for breaking that down for us.